The U.S. and China apparently have agreed to a trade deal framework ahead of President Trump's meeting on Thursday with China's President Xi. Joining us now, Ron Kirk. He served as U.S. trade representative in the Obama administration. And Mr. Ambassador, it's good to see you. You've had some experience, obviously, dealing with these issues. Do you expect at this point something positive that comes from China? We've had a couple of false starts, not false starts, but we had some what looked like the framework for some deals already. Is this an extension of that or a resumption? What is this?
Joe, I think it's all of those things, but I'm so tempted to call you John Dutton after listening to that previous segment. The three of you could star as a new, as a proud Texan, I'm so glad you enjoyed that. But seriously, Joe, as we talk frequently, this just feels like the pattern for this administration. The president will be spooked by something, get a little bit upset, threaten more tariffs, and then very quickly, given the negative reaction in the markets, will announce that, oh, we're on the precipice of a deal. So we'll see. They gave themselves, I think, until November the 10th to come up with a new agreement that would address our concerns about access to rare earth materials and others, and give China some access to chips and other things they were interested in. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But right now, this just feels like this administration's pattern.
Right. And it goes beyond trade, too. And there's an interesting piece in the Journal today, Andy Kessler talking about Donald Trump's a hockey star. And he just describes Donald Trump as someone like one of those enforcers that he's going to go down to the end of the first thing he's going to do is hit someone against the boards down there. And once they get hit, every time they look at him, they're going to think, am I going to get hit again? And we've talked about it in the past, even in the foreign policy arena, that a little bit of not mercurial, but not being sure what a person's capable of, and what we saw with Fordo and in Iran, it puts people back on they're uncertain. It can be a positive, can it? Sometimes, it can be in the right circumstances, because clearly our allies around the world count on our predictability, the fact that we are a nation that adheres to certain principles and the rule of law, and whether it's a Democratic or Republican administration, they kind of count on that. And if we want to credit this president for disrupting that reliability, that can work to his favor. The challenge, Joe, is the pain for American businesses that are trying to figure out what the hell are we doing. Even those businesses that want to make these investments in the U.S., they want some idea of what the rules of the road are going to be. And for our ag sector, this is incredibly frustrating, because they're having to pay the price for this macho, let me go down, the street and slug somebody in the mouth, when it's our soy farmers, our cattle farmers, our small businesses that are supplying the automakers in Detroit. They're bearing the brunt of this new macho, sluggo, I guess, style of negotiation. Well, we tried it the other way for a long time, and some people might say that didn't bear the kind of results we were looking for either. We also pointed out earlier, if you think about it, when the market does sell off on some adverse headline about trade, I don't want to say that it's like hitting your head against a wall because it feels so good when you stop, but then when you pull back on it, it seems to regain more ground than it lost in the initial thing. And we've done it a couple of times with China. I mean, Ron, all the averages hit new highs on Friday. I know businesses are having trouble trying to anticipate what's going on, but unless this is an AI halo or some type of liquidity move or a momentum play, it looks like businesses are doing well, or at least earnings are doing well. So despite
there's
all
a big difference between, I guess, the former, and I'm so proud to carry the rank of ambassador, but I guess, Joe, once a mayor, always a mayor.
there's a big difference between earnings on Wall Street and the pain that these farmers and ranchers and small businesses are feeling over the instability and the randomness of our trade policy.
Well,
and while, look, it is great for the markets, but
Yep.
the reality is over 90% of U.S. exporters are small businesses and family-owned businesses. And this is just driving them nuts trying to figure out what the rules of the road are going to be. And I also think a little bit of what we're seeing in the market is based on what you mentioned earlier, the fact that they do count on Trump, that they see this as bluster. He's going to pull back. He'll
Right.
make a deal. It won't be as bad. We really won't know until we finally get an idea of what this deal is going to look like, how steep these tariffs are going to be, not just with China, but across the board with our other allies from Canada and Europe and the rest of the world.
Well, there are some things. Canada, we're still having problems with. We haven't done anything with India, but we have signed a lot of trade deals. And if this happens with China, that would be a positive. In terms of,
well, we've announced a lot of trade, you know, and I'm not quibbling. Look, clearly
Ron,
this administration has a different deal. They've announced a lot of things.
Right.
We still haven't seen the reality of what they're going to look like.
Right, but farmers, admittedly, you're right about that. But I would take issue with whether companies, whether it's just, you know, the stock market's one thing. We understand that valuations can run up, but now we're seeing the results in actual earnings for a lot of these companies as well. And either they're learning how to deal with what you're talking about for whatever reason. When the rubber meets the road, companies are doing well, and the stock market keeps hitting new highs. Maybe it's all going to come crashing down, but at this point, I think we need to say...
I'm not rooting for the stock market to crash.
But I think at this point...
The market to do well.
We call them panicins. We call them panicins, Ron. And at this point, the panicins have not, their ship has not come in. Still could.
No.
But at this point, since April, in the height of the fear trade and everything else, it's been nothing but up. But we're going to have to leave it there, and hopefully, we all do hope that this China deal works out. Thank you.
Listen, I'm never going to root against our country doing the best again, but let me tell you, we need to invite you all to bring Squawk Box down to Dallas-Fort Worth, and we can work out a new show with our good friend.